Hi, I'm Bob Trask, and this is our weekly reset. Today, we're going to talk about something I think you're going to find pretty enchanting, pretty wonderful. We're going to talk about the law of attraction and how that works in your life and in my life. So let's get started. Um, I got a question. What if what if all you have, all that occurs to you, all that you experience, all and every single bit of what goes on in your life is the result of your consciousness? What if there's nothing you can experience that's not of your consciousness? That'd be pretty weird, wouldn't it? And yet that's exactly the way it is. There's nothing, absolutely nothing, that's not a reflection of who you see yourself being, not who you are, but who you see yourself being, which are two different things. And here's the thing. I don't know about you, but I grew up in most of my life thinking that things were happening to me rather than that I was happening to things. I thought I was the result of what was going on around me rather than the cause of what was going on around me. The Buddha says, what you think, you become. What you feel, you attract. What you imagine, you create. And the Buddha was right. That's the truth. And it's every bit as real. That law of attraction is every bit as real as the law of gravity. The law of attraction of all possibilities in the world, the ones that come to you are the ones that you're magnetically attracting to you. And how do you alter that conductivity? That's the question, right? How do you alter that conductivity within you so that you're attracting only good, only the things you want? Because if it's true that you and I are having experiences, and all the experiences we're having are the result of our consciousness of who and what we think we are, if that was true, then how do we change that? I mean, it's pretty hard for me to change who I am, pretty hard for you to change who you are, right? No, not right. Because who we think we are, not who we are. See, you don't know who you are, and you never will. I know that sounds pretty strange, but hang in with me for a minute. I've never seen this guy, Bob Trask. Now you can see me on screen and I can see me on screen. And if I raise this hand, you can see me raising my left hand. That's not my left hand, that's my right hand. When I raise my hand, everything's backwards. I have a tendency to smile out of the left side of my mouth. And you can see that right now, that I'm smiling out of the right side of my mouth. That's not me. And what you're seeing on the screen is not you. And what you see in a mirror is not you. No, you've never experienced you, because the experience of you is that which comes from you. The experience of you is that which comes from you. And that experience changes the reality around you so that it fits with who you think you are. It changes the reality around you so that it fits with your ego identity. Not a bad thing, incidentally. Ego identity, not a bad thing. Good thing. Just limited. That's all. It's not who you are. The only way that I know who I am is to see the reflection in your life. If I do something good, if I say something good, maybe I put together a program or a talk like this talk, and maybe it changes something within you. Then I say, I see that change happen. Then I know something about who I am. But our jobs in this world are not to be inside of ourselves. Our jobs in this world is to create, to let that self flow out, to let that music come from our souls, come out of us and touch the world around us. Oh God, you've got such beautiful music in you. Oh, they're the only one that ever has that music. No one else ever had that music that you hear, that you feel. The tone of your voice, the the melody of your mind, the cadence, the beautiful cadence and rhythm of your heart, your your 100 trillion cells all singing together in harmony, and all of that coming out of you creates a reality around you. And how does it do that? By magnetic attraction. See, this universe is filled with probability. There's nothing out there that's already created. And you can create it. You just reach into that void that seems endlessly empty. It's not empty at all. It's filled with all probabilities and possibilities. And you reach into that from your heart because there's something inside of you calling, and you bring that into being. Now, what if you're bringing something into being is not what you want? Then there's a part of you that's reflecting out that. So if you want to change that which is outside of you, you have to first change that which is inside of you. Charles Hammel, great industrialist, tells us it's the combination of thought and love which form the irresistible force of the law of attraction. It's the combination of thought and love which form the irresistible force of the law of attraction. Can we be in charge of that? Can we be in charge of the combination of our thoughts and our love? We can change, it's hard to change our thinking unless we change how we think. When we change how we think, it means that it means that that how I see life is different. How I see me is different. I see me as and I'm talking about you right now, not just me. I see me as love, as pure love. I see you as pure love. You're pure love. That's all you are. You're pure love. You're grace. You're an energy and an intelligence and a personality. And all that put together makes you magical. You're magic. You're magic. You're actually creating your reality. You want to look back over your life and say, boy, I'll tell you that if that's really true, I created some big messes. Yeah, you did. It's true. You also created magnificent things, not miracles. You've touched people's lives in ways that changed their lives beautifully. The great motivational speaker, Brian Tracy, says that you're a living magnet. And he says, in my personal experience, you are a living magnet. And in my personal experience, he's absolutely correct. But the question is, how do I change the polarity that's sending things other than what I want into my life? Well, here's some ways. Number one, know you are not your thoughts. Your thoughts, when you are not in charge of them, define you and lead you around in circles, doing the same things and having the same results again and again. Check this out with me for a moment. Are you thinking the same thoughts over and over again? Are you just kind of going around in circles in your mind, thinking today the things you thought yesterday? We already know that it's been proven that 95% of the thoughts that most people have yesterday, they'll have today and they'll have tomorrow. Is that you? Is that me? Are we just going around in circles having the same thoughts? And then because then we're identifying with our thoughts and we're saying, I am those thoughts. I can't let go of those because they define me. Well, what if you could change your thoughts and define you in a different way? Dare to think, not different thoughts, but in a different way. Dare to reach beyond your self-imposed identity, and do something different. And sometimes doing differently creates a different way of thinking. Try it. Let's let's make it simple. So you're going to bake a cake. You've baked this cake before. It's a carrot cake. You know all the ingredients. You've got them all out on the counter. You're going to bake this carrot cake. Are you going to do this carrot cake in the same way you've done every carrot cake? Hello. You're different today than you were the last time you made this carrot cake. Dare to do it differently. You don't like raisins? Don't put raisins in. You know what you want to put some other kinds of nuts in? Put them in. When you add an extra tablespoon of vanilla, change it. Change the way you do things, and the way you think about things begins to change. Stephen Covey said, to achieve goals you've never achieved before, you need to start doing things you've never done before. To achieve goals I've never achieved before, I need to start doing things I've never done before. So today, let's lean into the unknown. Let's deliberately stop identifying ourselves as who we are afraid we are. Instead, begin to affirm who we are. Stop identifying ourselves as who we're afraid we are. See, if you're afraid that you're ugly, you're afraid you're fat, you're afraid you're afraid that you're unattractive, you're afraid that some people don't like you, you're afraid that some people just have a problem with you, if you're afraid of all, then that's who you think you are. You're attracting that. You're attracting. That's the law of attraction. Let's begin to affirm that we are powerful, loving, good people here on earth to love and to be loved. And every word that comes out of your mouth, I don't care what it is, whether you're saying damn it or whether you're saying I bless you. I don't care what it is. You're saying one of two things. Either I love you or I want you to love me. Those are the only two messages we have. And if we would stop making other messages come out of our crazy circular mind, thinking the same things over and over again, if we would just let that go and think in the way that we were born to think new thought. It's a new day. Isn't it a new day? Is this yesterday? No, this is today. It's a new day. Why then? Why don't we think differently? It's a new day. It's springtime here in the Pacific Northwest. My yard's full of opening tulips, beautiful tulips and daffodils. And there's a lot of stuff coming up that's going to be blooming and flowering very shortly. My peach tree's loaded with blossoms, and the bees are darting around, drinking that nectar and pollinating that tree. So Mary and I'll have big fat peaches in the fall. It's a new day. Well, let's not think the way we did yesterday. It's not the same day. It never has, the day has never existed before. So let's think new. Listen and relax too, because it isn't that hard. The way we climb a mountain is by taking a small step, the next small step, and the next small step. And you can take that small step into changing your identity so that what you reflect brings back to you what you really want. And don't concern yourself about the next step, just that small step. Dare to step out of your comfort zone and into the probability zone. What choice do you have? Is life the way you want it to be, or do you want to change it? Unless you change, you know your life's not going to change. Every great and successful person we know has done exactly that, and you can do that too. Dr. Martin Luther King said, take the first step. You don't have to see the whole staircase. Just take that first step. You know, Einstein changed science and philosophy, both when he exposed the famous equation, E equals mc2 squared, which simply means that matter and energy are not two different things. Matter and energy are not separable. Your body and your money are not separate from your thoughts. Your body and your money and your health and your friendships are all being manifested from your thoughts. Einstein's discovery taught us that energy, which in this case is thought, your thought, is the basis of everything in your universe, both tangible and intangible. Everything in my world and yours is the result of focused energy, focused attention, focused intention. Rhonda Byrne said, there's a truth deep down inside of you that's been waiting for you to discover it. And that truth is this: you deserve all good things life has to offer. Thank you, Rhonda. Now, I'd like for you to think a moment about the parts of your life that are not working. How often are you conscious of the fact and the helpless feelings that that gives you? Then those feelings, in order to be justified, create the same thought patterns. In other words, I'm feeling a little blue, I'm feeling a little on edge. Then I think those things. I feel that first, and then I think things that justify that. Yeah, that's because this or that's because of that. Like I'm in the Pacific Northwest right now in our beautiful home. And my beautiful wife, Mary, who you see on the screen here, is sitting in a car attending this, and she's in Los Angeles. She's 1,000 or more miles away. And I can feel blue, feel lonely, and then my thoughts begin to justify that feeling. Well, that's because Mary's not here. I miss Mary. I wish Mary was here. And then my thoughts create more feelings, and these create more thoughts, and those create more feelings. And then I'm in this spiral again, a deadly downward spiral. And in that, there's truly no hope. In that downward spiral, there is no hope. It doesn't exist. And the only way out is to break the spiral, break the habit of seeing my ocean drained and create the habit of seeing my ocean full, create the habit of abundance thinking, abundance of life, abundance of joy, abundance of health and wealth and love. My Mary's right here and she's loving me right now. I feel that. I know that. I've got to have that thought going on, not the thought of, oh my God, Mary's not here. You surely someone will say that's easy for Bob Trask to say because he's never been where I am. Are you so sure of that? Are you so sure no one in the dark confusion and self-doubt that you're in didn't become wealthy and healthy and abundant in all ways by just changing their minds? You aren't justifying your story of helplessness because it's easier than facing down your doubts and fears, are you? Justifying your story because helplessness is easier than facing your fate, your fears, and your doubts and stepping into the light. Einstein, we all see Einstein as this kind of heroic, incredible man. I mean, people talk about Einstein all the time, about his great mind and about all the things he did. But he didn't have the best childhood. Most people thought he was a dud. He couldn't even speak for the first 3 years of his life. And in elementary schools, his teacher said he was lazy and wouldn't amount to anything. One time he was actually sent home from school saying he couldn't do the work. Famous comedian Jim Carrey had to drop out of school when he was 15 years old in order to support his family. Eventually, he and his family were living in a van. But Jim's thinking was not about his poverty and lack of education. He was focused on being known as the world's best comedic actor. And by golly, his magnetic attraction brought him to that exact place. And so can yours bring your dreams to you. There is no dream too big or too far from you. There is none. Please hear that. I know it sometimes seems impossible. I know. boy, I'm there. You know, I just recently put my book Up She Falls out. It's a great book. It's a great book. It's for my first novel, my first fiction, but it's a spiritual novel, and it's about a woman, of assistant district attorney, hard right-wing conservative lady who goes through a transformation and falls into the light, falls up into the light, and she's confused and she's lost and she's upset and she's angry. She wants no part of this light business. She wants to get back to just putting people in prison, but she can't stop falling. And this is the story of her unfoldment and going through. She's being there's people after her and to kill her. I mean, there's all kinds of things going on in this story. It's a great story. Now, my intention is that people, when I wrote the book, 3 years of writing, is that people would read that book and it would change their lives. Now the book's published, and now it's sitting there on shelves. Or it's sitting in out there in cyberspace. And there's some copies on Amazon and Barnes and Noble and stuff. But how do I get that book out into the world? How do I get it out to all the people? Gosh, I don't know. And that's outside of my comfort zone. My mind wants to just say, well, I just hope something good happens. And I just hope that happens. My mind wants to say, I can't do that. I can't make that happen. I don't know how to, I'm not a great marketer. I don't know how to market this book. And that old thinking won't get me anywhere. I have to change not what I think, but how I think. I have to change me. I have to become a marketer. I have to get out of that helplessness and get into the driver's seat and start using my creative power. You know, Bethany Hamilton had her left arm bitten off by a shark when she was surfing. She was only a kid of 13 years old, but without her arm, she was still determined to be competitive. And she was back on her surfboard 1 month later. Imagine getting outside of that fear. She was back on that same surfboard out there where that shark bit her arm off, and she was right out there once again surfing. And 2 years later, she won first place in the national championships. That's magnetic thinking, isn't it? Isn't it? Elvis Presley grew up like a complete failure. He didn't fit in. He did terribly in school. Didn't have friends. He was failed in school and he even failed in music class. And he tried to become a musician, but it went so badly, he ended up driving trucks. But his mind was on his music and on singing to the world. And he's kept that vision alive, even while driving trucks. He kept that vision alive, and that magnetic thinking made his furthest dreams come true. What's different from most of us and those people, that most of us are afraid to fail. That's why we don't take risks. That's why we don't reach outside of our comfort zone. We're afraid to fail. We're afraid to act differently because something might happen that we can't predict. We don't think we could survive failure. We think it would break us. We're better off just not daring to follow our dreams. Jeff Bezos, who founded Amazon and now is one of the richest people on the planet, it was he became so because he was strong-minded enough not to let failure overcome him and overcome his determination. When he first started Amazon, it failed so miserably that it was soon in out more than $50 million and still going nowhere. But he determined and held tight to his vision, and that vision attracted the reality that's now made him a worldwide millionaire in his company, a multi-billion-dollar company. Think he could do that because he was somehow more gifted than you or more gifted than me? You think he could do that because he got the breaks you and I haven't gotten? If so, you'd be right. He got those breaks because in every situation where a person holds a vision and refuses to let go, that manifests. It manifests. Now, when I say hold that vision, let me be clear about that. I mean the vision as more precious and more real than all the self-doubt and the unworthiness and the old identities of not being successful or not being well enough educated or being otherwise not enough. Your vision has to become your guiding light. It has to become something that you can feel inside of you. Because when you can feel it inside of you, you can feel the results, you can feel the emotions that you'll feel when that vision happens, then it reaches out into the ethers, it reaches out into that great beyond, and it creates that reality and it magnetically brings it into your life. It does it every time. It always does it. The law of attraction. You can't hope for it. You can't pray for it. You can't wish for it. You have to know it. You have to know it's right there and available for you right now. It's waiting for you to get your mind clear and believe it. You know, my dear friend, I believe in you. I believe in you even when you don't. I believe in you because I know each one of us are given dreams that must be fulfilled or our lives will feel worthless. You can leave this planet better than it is only by being the true, authentic you, only by being willing not to change, but to change. It's to be change itself, not to change, but to be change. If there's anything in your life that you're afraid of, letting it not be the fulfillment of your life, your fears, not reaching that state of joy that comes from being, doing, and having what you deserve. Mother Teresa, who followed her dream even when she was shut out by the church leaders sometimes and dismissed by government bodies. She went to people, nobody was cooperating with her. This tiny woman followed her heart and changed the world. And she has a message for us today. She has a message for me and for you. Mother Teresa says, life is an opportunity. Benefit from it. Life is beauty. Admire it. Life is a dream. Realize it. Life is a challenge. Meet it. Life is a duty. Complete it. Life is a game. Play it. Life is a promise. Fulfill it. Life is sorrow. Overcome it. Life is a song. Sing it. Life is a struggle. Accept it. Life is tragedy. Confront it. Life is an adventure. Dare it. Life is luck. Make it. Life is too precious. Do not destroy it. Life is life. Fight for it. My dear, when you and I are in the same boat together, I'm working to make my dreams come true. I have made so many dreams come true. Gosh, I've been so many things. I've done so many things. And some people that know me say, oh, well, there's Bob Trask. He's so successful. He's accomplished all these things. You know what? I'm still a kid. I'm still learning. I'm still beginning. I'm now marketing my book and I'm reaching out and trying to get people to go on Amazon.com and leave a review. And my goal is to get 100 reviews, and all that's beyond me. It's all beyond me. I'm changing today. I'm changing my identity. I'm going there and becoming that person who can do that. And you're helping me, of course, by reading my book and leaving a review. but I want to be helping you. I want you to hear today's talk, and I want you to hear it in your heart. What's coming to you is a reflection of who you think you are. That's the law of attraction. Change who you think you are, and what comes to you will also change. Thank you. Thanks for being with me. I hope that you can move forward during this week in a different way than you moved last week. Changing just a few small things. Just as Dr. Martin Luther King said, just taking a small step, not looking at the whole staircase. I love you. If you can go to my website, bobtrask.com, and leave a donation, I sure would appreciate it because it helps me keep these weekly resets going, and it also helps me do my work in the world. Thank you. And if you can stick around for the next half hour, we're going to have a conversation and we're going to talk a little bit about what we've just heard, and we're going to see how that works. And if you have to go, I understand. Go with my blessings. I love you.